Good morning, Metro Detroit. It's Kerry Leon Jackson, your urban conservative. How are you this morning? Time now is 6 o'clock in the morning. If you've got to be there by 7 o'clock, you've got 1 hour to get there. Listening to 910 a.m. Superstation, Metro Detroit's only urban talk radio station. The number here in the studio is 313-778-7600. That's 313-778-7600. This morning, we're going to have a guest call in a minute. I should be getting the high sign that she's on the line. She's going to be calling in. She should be calling in right at 6 o'clock. And I'm going to tell you up front, our guest today is going to be Lakeisha Simpson Ale. Lakeisha, so that y'all know off the top, Keisha's my cousin. And she's written a very interesting book that tells about her experience watching hypertension and hemodialysis affect it. She's going to tell the personal story about how it affected her mother, my cousin, how she watched what my cousin Kathy went through once she found out that she was received this diagnosis that she was having kidney failure and why she was going to start having to go through dialysis, and the path it took her along, and how that affected Keisha's life and how that's led to her doing what she does today. Lakeisha Simpson Ale is a certified clinical hemodialysis technician at West Pavilion Outpatient Dialysis Unit located at Henry Ford Hospital. And she's written a book. The book is called Hypertension and Hemodialysis, the Silent Treatment on the Rise. And once she's on the line, she'll be able to tell you how you can get your hands on copies of the book. But I wanted her to come on this morning to tell the story of not just, I wrote a book, I want to get out there and I want to promote the book, but about what she watched, how she arrived at the stage to say, listen, there's some things that I need to tell the members of our community. I want them to know how we wind up getting to that point of having kidney failure and what it means, what happens next. That there's quite often, once you wind up hearing this news from your doctor, your medical professional, there's usually this sort of gut punch about what exactly it means, how it's going to wind up impacting your life. And Keisha even writes in the book about what she's experienced in terms of some people just are in denial about what exactly the coming and going through dialysis, how that process is going to affect their lives and how they need to change their behavior. There are also some recommendations in the book about, listen, once your doctor, because listen, I don't know if your doctor is like the doctors that I've had, where they can give you warning signs, where they can tell you, listen, this is the path you're on. And if you want to try and live a little bit better and not wind up at a point where you've got to wind up being on a dialysis machine for the rest of your life, these are some changes that I think you should make. And I know that, I had, many of you already know this, an individual health scare about 13, 14, 15 years ago now, I guess. And I listened to my doctor. I decided I was going to make the changes that were necessary. And my doctor was happy when I made those changes. And I couldn't understand why he was so happy when I made those changes. I mean, ecstatic. And, it turns out he makes those sort of recommendations every single day. Apparently, the majority of the people just don't listen to him. They allow their bodies to decline. They allow their health to decline. They get to the point of, where there's not much that a doctor can do to lengthen their life or to give them the opportunity to have the full life. And listen, I understand that there are plenty of you out there that's like, the doctors they're all witch doctors. I don't want to listen to them. They're all, got some sort of profit motive behind them. I'm not one of those people. I don't believe that. I actually believe that, they're there for a reason. You've got to understand it. You've got to ask questions. You've got to demand real answers. When you don't get those answers, you've got to push for them. And if the medical professional that you're going to can't answer your questions, leave them and go to somebody else. You're going to have to make a change. You've got the number one best advocate on this planet for you in your health and your kids' health is you. And, even if you're going to wind up listening to doctors, if you're going to go to the doctor, at some point, you've got to listen to their recommendations. You've got to, there is definitely some sort of responsibility that you have to actually start to take control of your health. There's a responsibility that you have in order to start to eat right, to, all of us say that, at the first of the year, we're going to exercise and all that other stuff. Yeah, well, sometimes it just doesn't happen when it's supposed to happen. And, you know, uh, okay. Vaughn, she says she's trying to call in now and she's not getting an answer. I don't know if the phone lines are still locked or not. Um, so you can try and get her in 313-778-7600. 313-778-7600 is the phone line. 313-778-7600. He's fixing. So Keisha, I'm sure that you tuned in on one of the individual feeds. He's trying to fix the phone lines now. We're going to work that out so that all of you, those of y'all out there that want to talk about your experiences with kidney failure, your health, going to dialysis, what happens once you're starting to go. We're going to cover all of that today. 313-778-7600. Okay. Vaughn says the phone lines are all good now. And for those of y'all that want to call in, get on the phone. 313-778-7600. This morning we're talking about hypertension, hemodialysis, and its effects on folks in our community. How we've gotten to this point where we need to, I understand that I love a great soul food meal. I love a lot of the things that I learned to eat when I was younger. But some of those things, unfortunately, it has turned out that maybe we eat those things that we learned to love, and that maybe we overeat on some of those things. And the one thing that probably for the last, I'm going to say 40 years that I've learned is that a lot of the stuff that I eat, maybe we need to eat it, but just in moderation. We should not wind up overindulging. We've got to start to pay attention to exactly how much of those things are we eating. And sometimes once we find out that some of them we're eating just is not, your body is amazing. Your body will let you know you screwed up. You ate something you should not have eaten. Don't like it when you eat that. Don't do that again. And then we've got to start to listen. You've got to learn to listen to your body. You've got to learn to listen. You got to wind up scheduling those doctor's appointments and going to those doctor's appointments, and maybe listening to what your doctor tells you when you go to those appointments. So as soon as we can get Keisha in, we can get her on the lines. I want to have an opportunity for her to tell you about her book. Again, the name of the book is Hypertension and Hemodialysis. One of the most important things that I learned from reading the book, I didn't have a clue about. She says that, now, to me, I've always thought, well, dialysis is something that happens to you later on in life. Once you become a senior citizen, people my age or actually older than my age. That's one of those things that they go through, that they have to go to dialysis every day or 3 times a week or twice a week or something like that. And that they're going to be going over and over and over again for a while. Now we've got her on the line. Let's go to Keisha. Good morning, Keisha. How are you?
Hey, good rising. I'm well. How are you?
Pretty good. Ladies and gentlemen, Lakeisha Simpson L. is our guest. She's a certified clinical hemodialysis technician. And as I already introduced her, she's also my cousin. And she's written a very inspiring book. You can get your hands on copies of the book by, I'm sure that you can wind up going to Amazon and getting the book. But let's start at the beginning. Now, first of all, it's now 6:10. So we take our first break at 6:15. We'll take another one at 6:30 and one at 6:45. They're very quick breaks. They're only 3 minutes long. But I don't want to wind up having you not know that we're going to wind up taking a break in a few minutes. So now that we've introduced you, tell me this. How did you even start on this journey to say, I want to write a book? What did you want to accomplish by writing this book?
Well, first off, being a hemodialysis tech at West Virginia Outpatient Dialysis, I started there almost 6 years ago now. And I was like, hey, I got something to really say, and just experiencing my mother having all these different health issues and ended up on dialysis. She had the heart disease and the chronic kidney failure, which led to dialysis. So that was my first inspiration to like writing the book. And along with my experiences being a hemodialysis tech. So I'm like, okay, this sounds good. And I just started writing and put my thoughts together. I was pregnant with my third child, Malik, at the time, and I just started writing. And so that was my first inspiration to just start writing the book.
So tell me about the chapter of the book where you talk about the day in the life of the dialysis patient. What were the things that you saw that you thought, you know what, there's some that it seems to be a regular pattern of people coming in, and some of them take it very, very serious and they care about their health. And there are these other folks that are just living in denial and not showing up when they're supposed to. Tell us some of the stuff that you saw.
Ooh, it's so much. So a day in the life of dialysis, coming in, I come in, set up my machines, you evaluate the patient, calculate how much fluid to take off them. They come in, weigh, calculate their fluid. The dialysis patient either has a catheter port or an access in their arm for the dialysis treatment. And, you do that and you put them on the machine, and with the day in the life, it's just like, wow, these patients, and they're so young now. They're between like 20s and 50s now. That's really, really young.
So when did you start seeing that? Because I had never known that folks that young would start to be going to dialysis. If I didn't read the book, I would not have known that. When did you start to notice that?
Well, in my unit, we see up to a little over 300 patients a week. So, of course, the patient information is there. And I'm like, wow, they're so young. It's just like they're just coming in back to back to back to back. And
so what are we doing wrong in our community that the age apparently has shifted from this being something that, senior citizens are the ones going to go to dialysis, to the fact that you've gotten younger? I think you said that you got people that you see folks who are anywhere from in their 20s to their 50s. What are we doing wrong if we've got 20, 30, 40-year-olds showing up in the dialysis unit?
Ooh, this kidney disease is running rampant, okay? It's the diet. Everybody's stressed out. It's like a microwave society, basically. They're eating all types of wrong food, high sodium food. It's really the salt, the hypertension, the high blood pressure that's really shutting down the kidney.
So how are we supposed to change that? When you say something's running rampant, Keisha, these are the foods that they sell on every corner. Everybody doesn't learn. They didn't learn the way that we've learned in our family to actually cook food and have family meals and stuff. That's not, a lot of people strive for it and they say that that's what they want to wind up doing. But the truth of the matter is, America eats on the run on a regular basis. How are we supposed to get them to wind up shifting their behavior and to start to eat right?
Well, first of all, with the cooking, it starts with the diet. We all have, dietary standards, dietary needs. So it starts with your diet. It starts off by cutting out a lot of that salt. Of course, back in the day, we've been, cooking all types of food, Sunday dinner. Sunday dinners are comfort food, but they're full of salt, sodium, sugar.
So
we
do me a
need
favor.
really
Hold on a
start.
second. I want to, because I don't want to wind up stepping on that message. So hold that. We're going to go to break. When we come back on the other side of the break, we're going to talk about salt and sugar and what it's doing to us. And then we're going to start to take some calls. 313-778-7600. 313-778-7600. It's a very quick break. We'll be right back.
This report is sponsored by Discover. Discover credit cards do something pretty awesome. At the end of your first year, they automatically double all the cash back you've earned. That's right, everything you earn double. The cash back from trips, restaurants, all double. Seriously, though, see terms and check it out for yourself at discover.com/match.
Balance of Nature is fruits and vegetables in a capsule, changing the world one life at a time.
I had no energy for months and months and months. I had no energy, and I'm a very active person. And my husband was noticing that I was tired all the time, and I was slow at everything that I was doing. And I kept listening to the commercials, and you don't know if something's going to help you or not. But I decided this was something I was going to do. And lo and behold, in about 4 days to taking them, I was repotting plants. I was doing other things. My husband said to me, "You seem to have more energy." And I said, "Oh, yeah, I'm fine." And I'm telling you, nothing has ever made such a difference. So anyway, I'm very happy.
Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code Radio5.
Attention! Do you owe back taxes, fines, and penalties to the IRS? The IRS now offers new relief options for taxpayers affected by COVID-19, but you can't go it alone. Call Tax Solutions now. Our team of former IRS agents and tax professionals can get you the best deal. We know the COVID-19 rules. Call us and never speak to the IRS again.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
The virus has caused the IRS to take extensive action to help taxpayers. So if you owe $10,000 or more, this is the best time in years to settle your tax debt.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
Remember, the IRS will not give up until you pay. Call 800-683-9499. 800-683-9499. 800-683-9499.
The Word Network has been broadcasting inspirational messages around the world since the year 2000, and we keep getting bigger and better and more innovative. Seen all around the world, we bring you the best teaching, impartation, singing, and inspiration. If you want original programming, we have that too. The Word Network is your exclusive source for all things inspiration, and we can be found on every device imaginable. If you want to be uplifted and inspired, you need the Word Network.
The 910 AM live stream can now be seen on Apple TV, Roku, Chromecast, YouTube Red, iPhone, iPad, Android phone, Android tablet, Amazon Kindle Fire, any Windows phone, or watch us live at 910amsuperstation.com.
Welcome back, Metro Detroit. This is Kerry Leon Jackson, your urban conservative. You're listening to 910 AM Superstation, Metro Detroit's only urban talk radio station. The number in the studio is 313-778-7600. That's 313-778-7600. This morning, we're talking with Lakeisha Simpson Ale. Keisha is a certified clinical hemodialysis technician at West Pavilion Hospital. We are at West Pavilion outpatient dialysis unit located inside of Henry Ford Hospital. Keisha's written a book. The title of her book is Hypertension and Hemodialysis, the Silent Treatment on the Rise. Her book talks about her experiences. She watched how kidney failure and other conditions wound up leading to the death of her mother, her decision to wind up entering into this field, and the things that she's learned in the intervening years, her experiences. She decided to take the time to put these things down and write a book that was things that she said that, members of our community need to know about. And she's put those things in the book, Hypertension and Hemodialysis, the Silent Treatment on the Rise. First of all, before we go back to that, for those folks that want to get a copy of the book, how do they get their hands on a copy of the book?
They can get a copy of the book on Amazon, Barnes and Noble website, and the Author House website.
Author House website?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Author House website. What other things are you doing to promote it? Do you have a social media presence? Can they find you on Facebook? Is there a phone number? What else can they do to wind up reaching out to you if they want to talk about their experiences? If they just simply want to say, listen, I don't even know what questions to ask when I get to dialysis. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to see, where to sit. I don't know what to say. If they want to reach out to you, how can they find you?
Okay, I have a business email. It's called Queen, capital QUEEN MOAB 88 @gmail.com.
Queen MOAB, the number 88 @gmail.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have Facebook. It's my full name, Lakeisha Simpson L.
All right. Now, once they decide that they want to wind up ordering the book, tell me, what do you put your heart into the book? Tell us about the book. What's in the book? What are the stories that are in the book? What are the things that you like to highlight?
The things I like to highlight is about, like we talked about a little bit earlier, my mother and her conditions, and with the chronic kidney failure and hypertension. I also have experienced hypertension when I was pregnant with my son. So that was a battle in itself. So I speak about that. I speak about growing up. My grandmother, she was actually an RN, and she had hypertension. And I talk, it's a story in there about how I saw her take, nitroglycerin pills for hypertension. And also just my experiences with my patients. They're my heart. They're like a second family to me. So
I noticed that you wrote a lot about that in the book. How do you wind up? I mean, I don't know if they've taught your generation the way that our generation was taught, that you're supposed to wind up being professional with your folks. You don't have any attachments with them, especially you would think that in the healthcare industry, because, if these folks don't really take care of themselves, eventually they're going to wind up passing away. But I had never given thought to the fact that, as you said in the book, these folks are going to see you on a regular basis. They might not even, they're going to see you more often than they see their family members. You wind up forming a bond with these people. These are people that you wind up caring about them. I never thought about that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
How often? I mean, so I guess I've never really known the answer to this. Once patients start on dialysis, is there a way for them to improve their health where they no longer have to go to dialysis? Or once you're on dialysis, you're on dialysis for the rest of your life?
Well, it actually depends on the state of their kidneys. If they have it's different types of kidney failure. Acute kidney failure is that they're on dialysis, of course, and the kidneys might jumpstart after a few months or a few weeks. But with chronic kidney failure, their kidneys are gone. So they have to eventually get a kidney transplant, or they stay on dialysis until, the end of their life.
Well, you just said jumpstart. So if they're not at that stage of acute kidney failure, you mean that after going to dialysis and being on the machine for a few weeks, that their kidney can sort of like wake up and start functioning normal again?
Basically. So with acute kidney failure, something, just abruptly happened with the kidney. So an example of acute kidney failure, I had a patient, fell on some ice, and his kidneys went out because he fell on some ice outside. And he came to dialysis for like a few weeks, and next thing you know, the kidney started functioning. So yeah, that's definitely possible. With chronic, it's more advanced kidney failure. So the kidneys are gone. There's no function. Most patients don't even urinate anymore. So they end up on the kidney transplant list for like 3 to 5 years or maybe longer until they get new kidneys.
So tell me the patients that you've been seeing, especially the ones that are younger, the ones who are in their 20s or their 30s, is this, what have they been doing wrong to get to that point where they wind up with acute kidney failure and they're coming in to go to dialysis regularly?
Well, most of the time it's the uncontrollable hypertension, because hypertension is a silent killer. So most of the time they're coming in because of their blood pressure issues that they never knew they had. And it's been high so long and, unnoticeable until one day they get sick and they get blood work, go to the doctor, and they say the kidney's small. So it's mostly hypertension.
Hypertension is a really, really, really big word. For those folks that are listening on the radio who don't have a clue what hypertension is, can you tell them?
Hypertension is high blood pressure. High blood pressure, uncontrollable high blood pressure that's been high for a long period of time. What's high?
If in fact they go to Kroger or somewhere else and they sit down on the machine, and these are people that don't normally wind up going to the doctor on a regular basis. So they sit down, they push that little button, and the machine tells them that their blood pressure is like 150 over 90 or 150 or 160 or 170 or something over 100. When should they start to worry?
140 over 90. If your blood pressure is in the 140s, you really need to start watching your sodium intake. Pre-hypertension, you're borderline, so that's like the 130.
And so if their blood pressure is in the 130s, what changes should they make so that it doesn't get to the point of being in the 140s, the 150s, and the 160s?
Just basically reducing their sodium intake, sugar intake, increasing their water intake. Most important, your water is very, very important. And using more herbs and spices with food.
So people say that all of the time, but the truth is, it's not that easy to do. And folks really, really would just rather find out, I'm going to eat bad just this one time. And it winds up being 5 days a week. There's a lot of times that they start out regularly on January 1st. We're going to have this brand new, I'm going to eat healthy and things like that. And then they go to the grocery store and they find out that eating healthy costs a heck of a lot more than the alternative. What changes would you think that we should start to make in our diet? What are the specific changes that we should make? What should we cut out?
Well, definitely, like I was saying before, the salt, but we all are a work in progress. No dietary regimen is perfect at all. So basically, we all have foods that we enjoy. So it may be, okay, you had a pizza this day, but if you have a pizza, have maybe reduce how much you're eating and eat more green leafy vegetables with it. Just try to incorporate more fruits and vegetables with your meals.
And one more thing before we wind up going to break. Every other corner now seems to have a smoothie joint popping up on the corner. The smoothies cost $7, $10, $12 or whatever. It seems that now we're going towards starting to market and we're pretending that these things are healthier. Have you seen the ingredients and the stuff that they're putting in them? Do you think that they're actually healthy, or is this more junk than more sugar that they're putting in our bodies?
Well,
wait a minute. Hold on a second. Take a break. I want you to answer that when we come back on the other side of the break. And then we're going to start to take some calls. 313-778-7600. We'll take a very quick break. We'll be right back.
My38 is offering a great special that cannot be refused. Are you looking for a great deal on TV advertising? Are you searching for an avenue to get your business name out to the public? With My38, we are offering a great special with 100 commercial ads for a great price. This offer is for a 30-day ad placement. Please contact Devin C. for more information at 248-357-4566 or email at d.calhoun@thewordnetwork.org. This excludes political ads. The all-new 910 Superstation is your #1 source for urban talk radio. If you're looking for the best in radio programming, look no further. You can now listen in on a multitude of audio platforms. We're on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Buzzsprout, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Listen Notes, and coming soon to Amazon Music, Good Pods, and Overcast. 910 AM Superstation, the largest, strongest, 50,000 watt urban radio station in town.
Did you know most vitamin supplements don't even come from food? Even the products with colorful fruits and vegetables adorning the labels are seldom derived from produce. Typically, supplements are synthetic, made in a laboratory. Modern science may synthetically imitate these chemicals, but your body isn't fooled. It knows the difference, and it craves quality materials to build, repair, and fight illness. You need to consume fruits and vegetables daily in a variety of colors, as well as whole grains and other fresh food. That's why I formulated Balance of Nature. I wanted to be able to give my patients a natural alternative to the cheap, unnatural chemistry by giving them real fruits and vegetables. In fact, the only ingredients inside of Balance of Nature are whole fruits and vegetables. Don't settle for imitation nutrition. Reach for the good stuff, the real stuff.
Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com to get 35% off your first preferred order by using discount code RADIO5.
Do you have an idea for an invention or new product? Do you think companies would be interested in your idea? Do you want to try to get a patent? Then call InventHelp now. InventHelp keeps your idea confidential and explains every step of the invention process. We create professional materials representing your idea and submit it to companies who are looking for new ideas. We have more than 9,000 companies who have agreed to review ideas in confidence. If a company shows interest in manufacturing your invention, we can negotiate on your behalf. We have helped over 10,000 clients receive patents. We also offer services including 3D modeling and animation demonstrating your idea, prototyping services, and we use state-of-the-art technology to show InventHelp client ideas to additional companies. Join the thousands of people just like you who chose InventHelp to pursue their idea. We are experienced. We are working for you. We are InventHelp.
Call us for free information at 1-800-460-1663. That's 1-800-460-1663. Again, 1-800-460-1663.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans. When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer. When I grow up, I want to be a glass countertop in a new home. When I grow up, I want to be a kid's best birthday present. When I grow up, I want to be a football stadium. When I grow up, I want to be a warm place on a cold day. When I grow up, I want to be a fancy backsplash. I want to be a bike that races around the country. When I grow up, I want to be a bench on a forest trail. I want to be a rocking chair on a sunny porch. I want to be a skyscraper. I want to be When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. A public service advertisement brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
Welcome back, Metro Detroit. This is Kerry Leon Jackson, your urban conservative. You're listening to 910 AM Superstation, Metro Detroit's only urban talk radio station. The number here in the studio is 313-778-7600. It's 313-778-7600. Keisha, just hold tight. You can respond to my last question in a few minutes. I just want to start to knock out some phone calls first. Good morning, Jerry. How are you this morning?
Good morning to you, Dr. Jackson. Thank you for taking my call, and good morning to your guest, Miss
Keisha
right?
Simpson-L. Yes.
Yeah, hi, Miss Keisha. Good morning. Miss Keisha, thank you for your service and congratulations for your book. My question has two divisions, Miss Keisha. The first question is dialysis treatment temporary or permanent the rest of the life? That's first division of a question. Second question, did you ever mention in your book if the person want to get rid of dialysis, could be another plan like a transplant kidney for the patient? And you know, there's a lot of donors over there for kidneys. I'm one of those people in my driver license. I'm a donor. I would love to hear your answer, Ms. Keisha. Thank you, and God bless you, and thank you, Dr. Jackson.
Thank you for calling, Jerry. So if you've just tuned in, let's sort of bring everybody up to speed, and this will hopefully we can wind up answering Jerry's question. This morning, our guest is Lakeisha Simpson L. Lakeisha is a certified clinical hemodialysis technician at the West Pavilion Outpatient Dialysis Unit, part of Henry Ford Hospital in Detroit, Michigan. Lakeisha's written a book which is called Hypertension and Hemodialysis, The Silent Treatment of the Rise. You can get her book on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, or you can also find her on any of her social media. And she gave out her email address earlier. She's going to give it out again. So Jerry's question is sort of, again, because there are people who just tuned in at 6:30 and they weren't here earlier. He wants to know, is the diagnosis that you've got to start going to, that you have some sort of kidney failure, and you've got to start going to dialysis? Is it permanent or is it temporary? And so we want to try and quickly review that. And, okay, I forgot the second part of his question. All right, let's start out with the first part. Go ahead.
Okay, well, dialysis, it can be temporary and it can be permanent. So with acute kidney failure, something's going on with the kidneys, of course. It's in kidney failure, maybe a few weeks, maybe a few months. Depends on the patient's comorbidities like heart disease, other illnesses the patient has going on associated with the kidney failure. And yes, it can become permanent too if the kidneys are chronically ill and they're not functioning at all. You'll have to get a kidney transplant, or some patients don't even want a kidney transplant. They end on just staying on dialysis for the rest of their life. So it's both. It's temporary. It could be temporary and permanent.
What would make somebody say, I don't want to go on the transplant list. I don't want to do a transplant?
Well, when I talk with patients, the ones that I talk to all the time, some of them don't want one because of old age, because some say, well, I've lived my life. I've done everything. I'm not worried about it no more. This is my final destination, just being on dialysis until I, pass away or whatever. And some say they don't want the burden of, being on, because once you get a transplant, you have to be on anti-rejection medicine for the rest of your life when you get a kidney transplant. So some say, I don't want to take all those pills for the rest of my life. I can just do this. So those are the three things. That's why someone wouldn't want a kidney transplant.
So you're saying that they've decided in their minds, I'm not making that change. I'm not ready to follow. But I guess these are people that didn't, and I guess that was the second part of Jerry's question is, what are the recommendations? What are the changes that we need to make in our lives? And that's stuff that the reasons that you wrote the book. What are the things that we need to do different so that we don't wind up at a point where the doctor is saying we've got kidney failure and we're going to wind up having to go to dialysis?
Your diet, changing it, whole foods, fresh fruits, vegetables, water. I tell anybody, I take a whole half a gallon of water to work every day. Drink your water, please. That helps flush your kidneys. What's another thing? Exercise. Reduce your stress level. All of those put stress.
Oh yeah, we hadn't talked about. We had almost at 6:40, and we hadn't talked about stress at all. So, but hold on a minute. I want to talk about stress in a minute. But Rodney is on, and Rodney, I tell you, Rodney is always a very quick phone call. Let's go to Rodney. Good morning, Rodney.
How are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
Yeah, assisted suicide. Why did they stop that?
Assisted suicide.
Yeah, why did they stop that?
Because it's illegal. There was never a, it's all right for you to go out and kill yourself. There was never a, call Dr. Kevorkian, he's one of the greatest people out there, and where any of that other stuff. It's always been illegal. Dr. Kevorkian was breaking the law when he was riding around. That's why eventually he got prosecuted, and why Jeffrey Feigen wound up becoming famous and now does all of the Black History commercials and everything. They stopped it because there was no other doctor that was going to follow in those tracks of losing their license and helping people do something. Listen, everybody knows that You know, if you've got any compassion at all, when you've got a loved one and they're starting to suffer and their life's going down, you care for them and you don't want them to suffer. But going out and just sitting in a van out on Belle Isle and helping them kill themselves is never, ever, 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 ever the answer. Which is why we do talks like what we're doing today, which is let's try to prevent getting to that stage. Let's try to eat healthy. Let's try to exercise. Let's try to incorporate some healthier options into our lives so that we don't wind up at that point. Okay?
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Rodney. Have a good morning. 313-778-7600. 313-778-7600. So tell me this, from the time that you started on this journey, the path where you are to where you get now, have you started to notice any better options of fast food, you know, things like that? As I started saying with them putting every other corner now there's got a smoothie joint up there. Have you started to see any changes lifestyle wise in our community?
Yes, I have. Actually, there are a lot more farmers markets that are popping up. A lot of these restaurants are going more plant-based food options, vegetarian options for people. With the smoothies, yeah, they're popping up too. But it's always best to try to incorporate making smoothies on your own. It's still okay to go to Tropical Cafe or something like that, but you just have to be kind of cautious with any and everything. So
when you say make it on your own, well, I'll ask that question in a minute. Let's take another call. Let's go to PG. Good morning, PG. How are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing great on this TGI Monday and Women's Month, and I think that this is a great topic for a woman to be discussing, and that is the health of our kidneys. I wanted to ask her, you hear about all of the detoxes that we can do for various organs in our body. Other than drinking the water and making sure that we are filtrating the kidneys, is there a particular detox method that can detox the kidneys?
Oh, definitely lemon water. You can do lemon water. There are a few other ones that's out on the market that one can try. It's like they have different healthier options that you can just try at home, like recipes. But for me, like I say, just like the lemon water, the raw smoothies, like the green smoothies you can make at home. Like a good one that's really good for your kidneys is like a green apple, spinach, a little bit of celery, a little bit of ginger. They have, and you can add a carrot with it. You can blend all that up with like the almond milk, just fresh fruits and vegetables. In a blender. It's just. I
don't mean to cut you off, but just tell me this, because PG brought something sort of interesting to the table. What is the benefit of detoxing your liver or your kidneys?
The benefit of detoxing your kidneys is everything. Your kidneys will function better. With the high blood pressure, it's because kidneys have regulate blood pressure. So that is one of the best ways, when it comes down to detoxing your kidneys.
How often should someone do a cleanse or a detox?
Maybe like once or twice a month, I would say. Now, everybody else is different, but I'd say once or twice a month.
And where do they find the information on detoxing?
Well, it's different health stores that they can go to. Of course, you have to be careful with Google. But what I would say is that for me personally, I just do my own.
You do your own. You look up your own information to do your own so that you can wind up making sure that your kidneys remain healthy.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks a lot, PG, for calling in. We've got to take one more break now. This is our last break of the morning. It's a very quick break. It's only 3 minutes. We'll be right back.
AM Superstation has the greatest advertising deal ever with our Godfather package. 100 spots for $600 with a must-air within 30-day policy, and we will even produce the spots free. That's right, free. Call Devin C. now at 248-357-4566. That's 248-357-4566. Or email at d.calhoun@thewordnetwork.com. This excludes political ads.
WADL gets a facelift and is now My 38 Detroit. Along with a facelift comes new programming. On Mondays at 8 p.m., catch a 2-hour block of Law & Order SVU. Tuesdays, Chicago Fire. Wednesdays, Dateline. More Dateline and Chicago PD on Thursdays and on Fridays. You'll get more Chicago PD to start your weekend. We'll still have some of your favorite shows like Mom, Blackish, and Friends. Just adding more for you to enjoy on My 38.
Balance of Nature's fruits and vegetables in a capsule, changing the world one life at a time.
I had no energy for months and months and months. I had no energy, and I'm a very active person. And my husband was noticing that I was tired all the time, and I was slow at everything that I was doing. And I kept listening to the commercials, and you know, you don't know if something's going to help you or not. But I decided this was something I was going to do. And lo and behold, in about 4 days to taking them, I was repotting plants. I was doing other things. My husband said to me, "You seem to have more energy." And I said, "Oh yeah, I'm fine." And I'm telling you, nothing has ever made such a difference. So anyway, I'm very happy.
Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code RADIO5.
Attention! Do you owe back taxes, fines, and penalties to the IRS? The IRS now offers new relief options for taxpayers affected by COVID-19, but you can't go it alone. Call Tax Solutions now. Our team of former IRS agents and tax professionals can get you the best deal. We know the COVID-19 rules. Call us and never speak to the IRS again.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
The virus has caused the IRS to take extensive action to help taxpayers. So if you owe $10,000 or more, this is the best time in years to settle your tax debt.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
Remember, the IRS will not give up until you pay. Call 800-683-9499. 800-683-9499. 800-683-9499.
Good morning once again, Metro Detroit. This is Kerry Leon Jackson, your urban conservative. You're listening to 910 AM Superstation, Metro Detroit's only urban talk radio station. The number here in the studio is 313-778-7600, 313-778-7600. This morning, we've been talking with Lakeisha Simpson-L. Keisha is a certified clinical hemodialysis technician at the West Pavilion Outpatient Dialysis Unit, part of the Henry Ford Hospital here in Detroit, Michigan. Keisha's written a book, Hypertension and Hemodialysis, The Silent Treatment on the Rise. Her book is available on Amazon, at Barnes & Noble, and at, there was a third, Author House website. And also, if you need to reach her, it's Lakeisha Simpson-L on Facebook. And Keisha, can you once again give them your email address?
Okay, my email address is queen with the capital Q, QUEENMOAB, the number 88 at gmail.com. And I'm also on Instagram, Keish, KIESHSIMP. Keish Simp.
Okay. I don't really think that I knew that she was on Instagram, but I know it now. Thank you for sharing that. 313-778-7600. Listen, this hour goes by really, really quick, and we're going to wind up running out of time in about 5-6 minutes. When you wrote the book, if there's one way that you want to wind up summing up your entire book, what would that be?
Well, I'm just, what exactly do you mean? Like, as the whole book as a whole?
There was something. Let me tell you this. I know a lot of people. I've done a whole bunch of things in my life, and I have not yet sat down and wrote a book that I really, really want to wind up publishing and letting people know. There have been ideas, there have been treatments that have been put together, but I've never been focused enough in order to sit still and say, this is the one message. This is what I need people to wind up knowing about me, my background, and the recommendations I want them to make about how to change their life in the future. You took that step in the middle of dealing with the death of your mother, dealing with getting married to Mike, having baby after baby after baby after baby. Y'all have now what? You've got 4 boys, right?
Yeah.
All right. You sat down in the middle of all of that. You've been focused on this path, having watched Kathy go wind up getting some health issues, going downhill, passing away, and you didn't use it to sit in the corner and say, I'm giving up. This is, oh, woe is me. You decided there's a path. There's some things that I want to wind up doing, and these are the recommendations I want to make to our community on how we don't have that happen again. How you can wind up, you're going to wind up. You might have high blood pressure, but I want to tell you, this is how you can wind up reducing your blood pressure. These are the changes you can make in your life so that you can wind up doing better, so you don't have to go through what we've gone through in our family. You sat down and you did that. What made you decide to say, you know what? I want to let our community know that we're on a horrible path, but there is a way to wind up fixing it.
Well, because my motto is your health is your wealth. And I just felt like, especially in our community, we have so many tragedies and everything going on with our health, that it was time to speak out about this. And I just really wanted to, sit down, write this book, put my heart and soul into it, and give it out to our people, because we really, really need it. And it was important that I took control of my own health and to be an example for that. So that's the way I think of it. And, like I said, we all a work in progress. There's no shame, no judgment. Let's get it together. And I'm here for it all. So, and I just wanted to be, helpful and resourceful to our people in our community.
Being helpful and being resourceful to our people in our community is why I'm glad that you got up very, very early in order to come on the show, share the information about your book, share the things that you've learned. Y'all, there's a lot more stuff that's in the book that we have not yet gotten to talk about. The easiest way for you to find out about the stuff that's in the book, order and get a copy of the book. Hypertension and hemodialysis, the silent treatment on the rise. It's available, as she's already told you, on Amazon. Go ahead.
Real quick, I just want to say, let them know I'm going to be at the National Kidney Walk on Sunday, May the 21st at the Detroit Zoo in Royal Oak.
Give me the date again.
Sunday, May the 21st.
Sunday.
Is the National Kidney Walk at the Detroit Zoo.
Okay, so let me just tell you this. The week before the kidney walk, I need you to call into the show again. You don't have to give me a whole hour, but I definitely need you to call maybe that Monday and that Wednesday or something to remind people that the kidney walk is coming up. So that if they want to take part in it, if they want to wind up, sponsoring somebody who's walking, if they want to come out and walk, if they just want to give money to the National Kidney Walk, at least to keep the idea front and center in people's minds, I'm going to need you to make sure that you call us that week. Okay?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for getting up. I love you. Tell Mike and I said, hey, y'all hug those kids for me, and I'll be in touch with you soon.
I will. Love you too.
Love you too.
Thank you.
All right, y'all, I'm out of time. Next up is State Representative Jewel Jones. I have to hear a member of the foundation will be here to bring you information and inspiration from 7 to 9 this morning, followed by Attorney Anthony Adams from 9 to 11. I urge y'all to stay right here to 9:10 a.m. Superstation throughout the morning. Today is 313 Day, and so you know that there will be 313 activities throughout the day. It's also supposed to be a little bit of snow, but let me just say this. We're not concentrating on the little bit of snow that we're going to wind up getting today and tomorrow. We're concentrating on the fact that it will be 50 degrees later this week, several Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So we're going to make sure that we just are healthy and safe, and we do whatever we've got to do to get through this week safely. Y'all remember today's Monday, tomorrow's Tuesday. Our show tomorrow is pre-recorded. I'm not here live, but I will be live with you Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday later this week. I urge each and every one of y'all to go out, drive safely, make sure that you take care of your health. As she just said, your health is your wealth. Take care of your health. I look forward to talking to each and every one of you on Wednesday morning at 6 o'clock. Y'all have a great day.